Yeah, Davis would have done it.
Okay. This is Marshall Nakota. Badge number 010. It is the 4th of February, 2026. I am joined by
Marshall Cameron Woods, badge number 084.
Director Brian Knight, call sign 495.
And bjorn.
Will you just state your full name and your state ID for the record, please?
Bjorn Corleone Gambino 1054.
I don't believe that's the name we have on file. You look a lot different than in your profile photo.
Don't know what my profile photo is right now, so I can't comment on that.
Okay. How's it going?
I have been cutting, though.
Yeah, you definitely look like you've cut.
Could be better.
Okay. So obviously we've just spoken to Sab and Skipper. We would like to hear what you have to say. But before that, I am going to Mirandize you since you've opted to speak to us without a lawyer present, so you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided to you free of charge by the state if available. Do you understand those rights as I have just read them to you?
I agree to these terms and conditions.
Okay. And with these rights in mind, do you wish to dismiss your counsel and speak to us currently without counsel?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what's this? Huh?
So, do you know why you're in here with us?
I do.
Okay. Can you run us through why you're here?
Well, I would like to talk about what kind of time I'm looking at, and then what kind of time I might be looking at for cooperating.
So we've had a similar thing said in each one of these interrogations. And the fact of the matter is that we have a fairly good idea of what we think went down. But I don't think anyone wants to drag this out longer than we have to, but we do need to see where you're at.
I am interested in telling you no BS exactly what happened, and I just want to know what that's looking like for me.
Well, one thing that I did say to both Skipper and Sab is that I am waiting for information, which is why your holds have been extended, as to not jump the gun on what the evidence is showing me right now. So I can't sit here and say, you're right now in this moment looking at X, Y, and Z, but if you come clean with us, you're going to get A, B, and C. I will say we are not looking to get information and then kick you out the door and say, we'll be seeing you in court now. That is not, I don't think anybody's interested in that.
Have you mostly decided what charges you're likely to be pushing?
No, funny enough, it's actually seems like it's just changed in the last 30 minutes. Had some recent revelations that we were not aware of.
So you have no number to tell me what I might be looking at. 5, 10, 20, 30
I
years?
think I can answer that. I think right now your worst case scenario is the death penalty. For treason and terrorism.
I don't think this would fall under treason or terrorism.
It sounds like you have information that you could help clear the air.
I think you're just saying that to pressure me to tell you what I know, because I am fairly confident this would not fall under treason or terrorism, as Los Santos doesn't recognize this man's position.
I received confirmation from a state representative that this was indeed the President of the United States.
And what's his official position within Los Santos?
Is that going to be the only defense there, Bjorn?
No, I'm curious. How is he recognized by Los Santos?
Hmm. So your only contention here is who he is. You have no contention as to your involvement.
I mean, I think you know I was there and involved.
It's a good question.
What was that?
Said it's a good question you got there.
I think if you know that we know that you're involved, then speaking to us can only help you, right?
Yeah, and I'm interested in telling. I just have a lot of questions.
Hmm.
And I don't know what his involvement with Los Santos is.
Why'd you do it?
You won't believe my answer, and I don't think I can convince you. But I did it because I believe he was working with the Faceless.
This isn't the first time we've heard this, but we're trying to understand what makes you believe that to be the case. Because we're not removed from believing anything, but we need evidence.
I don't have the evidence to give you. I have several reasons, and one really big one that I believe make it the case, as well as what he said to me on the pier.
What did he say?
I asked him about the faceless, and at first he lied and said he had no idea who it was. And then he eventually admitted he did know who they were, and he started talking about some kind of deals, and then that's when everything got interrupted, and I didn't get to find out what I wanted to know.
Could you be more specific?
Which part?
You started what exactly was said on the pier by you? What questions did you ask, and what were his responses?
At first, I asked him about the faceless. He tried to act like he. You sipping on there, Nakota?
Oh, just some from the cauldron.
Mm. I asked him about the faceless, and he went on to say he had no idea who they was, never heard of them, didn't know them. Eventually, he changed his tone and admitted that he did know of them. He went on to speak about right around this part. I didn't get to ask him much. Things got loud and stuff started happening. As he started talking about some kind of deals, and I didn't get to hear all what he had to say or question him any further.
If you were to speculate what you thought was going to be said, what do you think?
It was sounding like he was talking about some kind of deals. I would only assume would be with the people that were the topic of our conversation.
What led you to even ask those questions to begin with?
Well, as you know, Brian, I've always been very anti-faceless. We've had discussions about this, and I have done my own investigating, and over the past many, many months, I have come across several reasons to believe he was involved.
Could you share some of those reasons?
One is Sanguine Isle. Someone else owns that isle right now.
So you're claiming that the Faceless now owns Sanguine, and that you believe the president sold it to them.
I don't know if he directly sold it to them, but I think he in some way helped them obtain it. And he was a big figure in clearing out that island.
Would it be accurate to say the president got this because of his decisions and his potential involvement with the Faceless?
If you try rewording that.
Sure. You did what you did to the president because of his involvement with the Faceless.
Yes.
Can you name anything that led you? Did you convince him that there was a wedding yesterday?
I don't know anything of this wedding, but he did mention one on the phone to someone.
Okay.
Might have been talking to Crane. No, he was looking for Crane.
How did you know he would be here today or yesterday?
I did not. We happened to be down south and saw a giant plane come in that said United States Air Force on it.
And it just happened to be Davis.
That is correct.
And when did you? Are you aware that we know that y'all picked him up?
From what I understand, his Secret Service survived, so I figured you would know.
So you dressed up, you picked him up, you brought him to the pier, and you shot him. That doesn't appear to be happenstance. Secret Service told us quite a bit. It goes begs the question, how did you know that he was arriving?
Not sure what they... Why don't you tell me what they said?
I can go, Brian.
Go ahead.
We know for a fact that you and Skipper were there to pick them up, waiting for them on the runway.
We weren't actually waiting. We pulled up to them while they were already outside the plane.
Okay.
We got there a bit after them, it seemed.
We were also told that the individuals who picked them up, which was you and Skipper, that was pre-arranged according to the testimony that we have.
Prearranged for us to pick them up?
They stated that whoever had picked them up had been arranged for them to be there. That was their statement.
We weren't arranged to pick them up. I thought we just got lucky.
I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but there's getting lucky, and then there's an anvil landing on your head when you're running down the street. Like that seems a little bit out of the realm of luck, in my opinion.
Does it even change anything?
Well, it changes the honesty, right? You're looking for a plea deal, and we want to understand the full scope of this, right? When a plea deal is offered, a big part of admitting guilt to these things and weighing the time and fine is honesty, as it shows a semblance of remorse and acceptance and intent to change one's ways. Was it necessary to shoot him?
I did not shoot him, so I'm not the one to ask.
But he was shot. Did you
And
believe?
stabbed. He was stabbed.
Mm.
You did stab him, though. That wasn't a question. We know that.
I know that you know.
Was it necessary?
Believe so.
Because he was faceless.
I truly believe so, Brian.
So why was this? Is that why you convinced him to come here? And when I say you, I mean the collective. Bjorn, from where I'm standing, you were aware of the wedding that was planned a long time ago and delayed. When we look at the rest of the deck of cards, the other parties that we know to be involved and those that we suspect to be involved, you sort of pop up out of everything, out of the lineup. Ex-deputy, aware of a past wedding, aware of Sean Danielson's relationships. They received a notice about a wedding yesterday. And then all of a sudden yourself and Skipper come and pick them up by happenstance to later conduct an act that you yourself just now admit it needed to happen. So it's only a stone's throw away to suggest you arranged the entire thing. I don't think it really changes much with the grand scheme of things, whether you did or didn't. I just want to know for myself, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I registered a fake email under Arnold Frost at BCSO and the O was a 0. And I sent him an email about the wedding.
Hmm.
Did you arrange this because he was faceless? Or because you wanted to get rid of Sean Danielson? Or Sean Davis?
No reason to want to get rid of him. Besides the faceless.
And why was that?
I have no reason except for that.
Oh, no reason except for that.
Yeah, I had no ill will towards this person besides this reason.
What if this is all a game and that the faceless have convinced you to do something that may not have been true?
I don't think they had any hand in convincing me this. The things I've come across that have led me to this, there's almost no chance they had any involvement or put this into my mind, and I feel very confident about this.
It's a sad day when criminals are more honest than law enforcement. I'm going to take a step outside. 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How are terrorists more honest than law enforcement?
That's a good question.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with our goddamn society?
Also, just so you have for reference, his knife didn't have any blood on it, so we were dead to rights, except that he just admitted that he stabbed him.
I recommend we have to go for terrorism because regardless of the position that is enshrined, like we put forward a deal through the DOJ as to what a proper fine and time would look like, and then have them figure out those details. But I feel like terrorism just inherently fits because it's
Correct.
doesn't matter what his power is here in San Andreas. he's admitted in so many words that he conducted this because of political means.
Correct.
Right?
Literally lured him by impersonating somebody else.
It so I would say that him and Skipper collectively would get, primary actors, and Sebastian the accessory. And I think we don't, listen, we can do the rest of it, but I think we can get a deal at least put forward in front of the DOJ and have them figure out what those numbers should look like. I think him being outside of the purview of the Constitution is what elicits a reduced time. But like, that's a matter that I think needs to be figured by one of our officials in some capacity, right?
Yes, I get what you're saying. Let them decide how impactful the victim status should be overall.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. But I'll be honest, I didn't expect them all, at least those two, to come in here and then talk themselves into bigger charges. But I guess that's why we come here.
I don't think they necessarily talked themselves into it. My mind was already made. I just didn't say it out loud. Because the thing is, like, even the sheer fact that he was the president, your actions become political. Though that's a concept that, like, not every judge may. That's a complicated topic.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like,
but I do think that we can let them know that with, like, their hold ends tomorrow, right? I'm gonna spend the rest of the day combing through the phone records and then tidying up the charges so we have something to present by tomorrow at the latest.
I think you can get numbers in front of the DOJ in advance of that. I think they're simplifying plea deal stuff. I'm not telling you to slow down or stop or don't do these things, but what I'm suggesting here is you might want to do that in parallel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
Just so you don't get to a spot where.
Well, my only other thing, I don't know how you feel about this.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 outstanding according to the evidence, and if the phone subpoena reveals that there are other people who are heavily involved, okay.
Yeah,
right.
you get the primary actors, and then and the tertiary actors, the ones that we got in prison. And then if a 4th or 5th pops up, you already got the gun, like,
Yeah,
cocked.
they're already signed. Yeah, sealed, and ready to go.
I spitball like 7-7 for the 2 mil for the primaries, and maybe like 2-2 for Alfonso because there's so little evidence. That's a spitball, right?
Okay.
And that's with me if I needed to recommend something based on the severity. But like I said, it's for me, that's like how I would. It's still a foreign agent, right?
Correct.
It's very hard to weigh something that we don't know the weight of, right? So
yeah. I agree. It's like the position and the ambiguity around it in connection to us makes it difficult to navigate. But
I would say what I would do is have the first plea deal written in advance of, like, shoring up the evidence, and you write a statement of probable cause as to why it is terrorism and the other things. And we say, this is what we're thinking. What do you think, DOJ? Have a chat with the other state reps, come back with a number, and we'll if this too high or too low, right?
Yeah.
And then for the rest of it, because like all the other shit, like I also want to get away with the bullshit of like writing a full docket case. I think that's where the DOJ wants to go as well, because it's a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, I agree.
If these guys are like, we're willing to take the recommended charges, then doing the rest of that shit is like, uploading the videos and, finishing up all the reports and all this. Like, no one's gonna, doing all the work that no one's gonna look at, as opposed to focusing on getting the other actors.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'll work on all that when we get out of here.
and I'll
Yeah, we
help
go back
get
in
some of
tomorrow.
those answers as well.
Yeah, that would be good because obviously you have conversations that I'm not privy to. So
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna restart the recording. Marshall Nakota. Director, is there anything else you want to cover?
Chat, we would have had terrorism anyways, but him admitting to it, we should just figure out what the appropriate fine and time is with help from... No, that's all I got.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say to us before we end the recording, Bjorn?
I don't think so. I mean, if you have any more insight for me on what I might be looking at after your conversation, I'd love to hear it.
Transparently, we are gonna put something forward to the, we're gonna get a number back. We're gonna try to get something sorted. Obviously, this is a complicated matter, for reasons that you yourself are aware of as well. I do want to make it clear that we do believe it's terrorism, but that is something we're going to be weighing after this. So to, okay. I'll explain, if you're interested, is irrespective of what may ultimately be a individual status in San Andreas, a recognition of a foreign party, can still be political in nature, right? It's like if you live in Cuba and a different person, like a president of a different nation comes to Cuba and takes them out just because they have no, recognition here. We get into a bunch of gray area, right? I don't know what treaties exist. I don't know what the expectations are. We don't have all the answers, but so I'm sure you understand.
Okay, I got it. When would I be hearing back from you guys?
We're gonna go as fast as we can.
I don't want to extend the hold again, so if that helps, I don't want to have to go another 24 hours, and I'm going to be working as fast as I was the last 18 hours to try to make sure that is not a necessity.
Actually, if you could, you and the other two should let start a secure chain with we'll try to stay in contact through the computer system too. So
okay.
I think I said this previously. Our interest is not to keep you here as a sign of like we're in charge and you're not. I can speak for the other two too, but personally, I want to make sure that I have all the facts, I get all the evidence, I get all the information, and then I use it in a responsible way.
I mean, the holds I don't mind as long as if those are getting credited in my time at the end, then it doesn't really matter.
We tend to we're definitely going to take it into consideration. Historically, we do when there's compliance.
So on.
Yeah, especially when you're coming down here willingly, being open with us. That's a big thing for us.
So, okay. It is 3:40 p.m. EST. Marshall Nakota ending the recording.
Chat, all these questions about like